Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. And this is like the fourth video this morning of my the God Code. If you are new to my channel, I am a philosopher, psychologist, and sociologist of 30 years now. And I'm also the founder of Perspective Psychology. I am looking for our address. We're not in the third dimension like we thought. We're actually in the second dimension. That's why we're seeing people only one by one. But when you get into third perspective, you can start shifting up here. So we are in the second dimension, not the third dimension. The child is 5 years old. She is 5. And we are in the fourth perspective society. Societal fourth perspective. But there's one more in there that I missed before because that's the 12th. That's the 12th perspective, and I could see it. We're in the 12th perspective, and that's the big shift. It's like we're a massive Rubik's Cube. That's really what we are. We are just a big Rubik's Cube, because that's right. That's all we are. It's just a big Rubik's Cube. So 12th perspective. Now that 12th perspective, let me think here, because I could see it. I could see it. Oh, don't lose it now. 5-year-old, second dimension. So we're 5, 2, 12, and a 4, and I'm an 11. So I am an 11 and a 4 and a 12 and a 2 and a 5. That's my address. Combination theory. Combination theory tells you which of the 12 numbers you are at each and every dimension around you. I call it combination theory. And the more of the numbers you have of yourself, the more precise you can locate which dimension you are in which dimension of what universe. Now, the Big Bang would be the 1-year-old. Oh, we have an age of every age. And we have ages within those ages. This is what I mean by infinity. It's 1 of 12 of eternity. That's 1 of 12 of eternity. And every one of us is 1 of 12 of eternity. So basically, it's like DNA. That's exactly what I'm doing here. This is called DNA coding or ancestral coding. But ancestral is really, that's one perspective thinking. You need to span out. Span out. Go bigger. Go bigger. Always go bigger. All right. So 1 to 5. And I see the second dimension. That's our 2D thinking. That's our 2D minds. That is the 2D mind. I would call it 2D, not 3D. This is going to be really difficult to lay. I know I can do it. Come on. Manifest it. Manifest it. I saw earlier today. I saw the Bible. It was the Bible to Rome, to the Dark Ages. To the Dark Ages. Science. Age of Enlightenment. Education. Education. We might be in the fourth perspective for society, but our education is at the 12th. Our education is at the 12th. That's what's going on. That is the shift we're all feeling. That's it right there. I knew it was there. Once you get to the 12th perspective, it resets and starts over. We are at a reset. The reset that's occurring is at our education level. That's why we're all waking up. If you look at the grounding, this is beautiful. So you have zodiac signs. That's on a calendar of 12. You have a calendar. That's on a number of 12. It gets better. You have the circle of fifths. And that is on a calendar of 12. If you look at the very first zodiac, which is Capricorn, and then you slide down to the 5th, I'm a Taurus. If you also align that with the circle of fifths, with the first chord all the way down to the 5th chord, my favorite music, my favorite chord has always been E major. E major is the 5th location of the circle of fifths, and I am also the 5th location of Taurus, which is why I am of the 5-year-old. It's why my 1 is 5 years old. So I am of the 5th dimension, the 5th the fifth imagination away from the first, the fifth dimension or the fifth story away from the first story. That's really what it is. Bear with it. I'm going to like unravel this later. So you have the first story that then imagines 12 stories, and they just keep going on cycles. And every one of those just keeps spanning out into its new imagination. So the one gave birth to 12 different stories. And we are one of those 12 stories. But which dimension are we in? First dimension, the I of I, is the first dimension of the first dimension of the first dimension. But then you could be the first dimension, the second dimension of the second dimension. You could be the first dimension of the second dimension. You could be, for instance, let's say you have, let me go back to my Bible days. Give me just a minute. Jacob. Jacob would be, for an example, the first. He had 12 sons. So that, I don't know the name of the sons, but I do know, I don't know my Bible lore anymore. Joseph was the 12th son. So that would make Joseph the 12th of the second, because he is the second dimension, the second offspring, but he's the 12th offspring of that second generation. Generation, that's it. It's generation. It's generational. That's what I'm trying to communicate. So that you are the 12th of these are generations, not dimensions. Holy shit. If they're not, generations. They're not dimensions, they're generations. These are our God generations. And that's it right there. So I am of the 5. I am of the 1 of 5. There's the 1, and then there's the 5th child in. So I am the 1 of 5. And that one is of the second dimension, because we are only in the second dimension going to the third dimension. And we are in the 12th perspective of education, and the 4th perspective of society. And I am of the 11th perspective. That's my combination. So I am 11 of 4, of 12, of 2, of 5, of 1. That's my combination. Every one of us will end with a 1. Every one of us will end with a 1. So that's your combination. That answers the question, who are we? Where are we? Where are we going? And why are we here? Because I am the 11 of the 4, of the 12, of the 2, of the 5, of the 1. Every one of those is a past life. And every one of those has reincarnation, because you have to reincarnate. This is where it gets to be a game. This is where it gets to be fun. This is my favorite part. How many regenerations does it take to get to the 12th perspective? That's it. How many regenerations does it take to reach the 12th perspective? Now, that's the question. How many regenerations does it take to reach the 12th perspective? Are you going to do pass on, pass behind? We actually go back. We go back to the energy pool. So are you going to pass on and before you get to the 12th perspective, or are you going to reach the 12th perspective? Now, if you reach the 12th perspective, then you get to level up. And that's it. Because this is a big video game, because I'm the god of story, and that's exactly the shit I would pull off. That's it right there. So yeah, are you going to level up, or are you going to do game over and have to go through it again? But every time you go through it again, you get to start right where you left off, which is why millennials are being born at the 5th perspective, is because all of those generations are the ones that passed away at the 4th perspective, so that when they came back, boom, they made it to the 5th perspective. So they didn't have to go back all the way through it. Now they have to go through. Now the 5th perspectives, because this generation now has access to the God code, might just run ahead and be at the 12th perspective, and then poof. And now we get to race each other just for the shits and giggles of it, to see what happens at the 12th perspective. Because at the 12th perspective, you become a dimensional walker. Oh yeah! Yeah! A dimensional walker. because that's the ultimate reward, because that's exactly what I would do, because this is my story and that's fucking awesome. You become a dimensional walker. Now, the story might be different for you. We don't know. I don't know your combination. I know my combination. I am 11 of 4 of 12 of 2 of 5 of 1. That is my combination. That is who I am. Wow. I am 11 of 4 of 12 of 2 of 5 of 1. You know, the Bible said we would all be numbers. There they are. Combination theory. It's really fucking cool. So yeah, what's your dimension? That's why our perspectives are so different. And that's why it's so really fucking important that you leave them alone. It's because when you go in and you go, that's not the right perspective, what you're really doing is taking away their coordinates. And then they lose themselves. And then they don't know who they are. And that's why you're lost. That's why you can't go home. It's because you don't have your coordinates, because you lost your combination. Because you can't go home. That's where we're all going, is home. But you can't get there without your coordinates, which is located in the philosopher's compass. My name is Anna Imagination. If you want to learn more about any of this, click on the link below. Warmth and light to you. May the kindest of words always find you.